this is our agenda that we are going to be following. This meeting is planned for 2 hours, and we shall have an opening prayer from any volunteer, and then we shall have some opening remarks, and then we shall go through the different activities as you see them on our agenda. May I request any volunteer to raise up your hand, and then you take us through an opening prayer. Any teacher to take us through an opening prayer? Okay, yes, Kahinju, you can unmute and you take us through on pot places.
All right, let's pray, everybody. Father in heaven, we thank you for this beautiful day. We thank you for your love, protection through last night, up to this morning. May your name be glorified. We thank you because of the session. We thank you for the facilitators. We thank you for our brains. We ask that you give us your blessings each day. We ask that you bless the teachers all over this country, the facilitators. We ask that you enrich them so that they can always give us the right information. Protect us, give us a session until we see the end, for we pray in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for the word of prayer. I want to welcome everyone who has joined us this morning. Thank you so much for joining wherever you are. You are welcome to our first meeting as we plan for our seminar come some weeks to come. So I want to request those who have just joined in to rename yourself plus the school where you are teaching. So what you do, go on your name, place on those 3 icons, look for a name, write your name early on young, and then at the end, put the school where you are teaching. Like you can say Ernest Kasaga, Seed Kampala. So just help us put your name of the school such that we can be able to know where we are, where you are joining us from. It is really very important for us to know where you are joining in and even the school that is going to be participating in our seminar. Okay. So we are going to use 2 hours to have all these different activities run. So in those 2 hours, there is a lot that we are going to be learning, and we ask you to keep on up to the end such that you can be able to take on everything that is going to be taught within this session. There is a lot that we are going to be sharing. There is a lot of experiences from some of the senior teachers we have on the call. We want to share also some of the challenges that you are facing in the teaching of mathematics and other things. So all what we are doing, we are preparing for our seminar that will happen on the 25th of June, 2022, some 3 weeks from now. So we want to have the best seminar in the country such that all our learners can gain from it. So we want to see that mathematics at least takes the lead as one of the best performed subjects through along in the coming exams. So on the invitation letter, we requested that all schools will register. So in case your school has not yet registered for this session, I'm going to drop the link in the chat, and I'll ask you to take off some few minutes. In case you have not filled in this form, take some few minutes and fill in this form such that we can capture your details. It is very important for you to register such that we know where you are located, where your school is, and the kind of facilities you have, such that for in case of any support, we can be able to offer the support we may be having. So that registration link is in the chat, please go on and tap on it. Then we also have, we have created a Padlet where we are going to be posting all our solutions going forward. So all schools that are going to be participating in this seminar, we shall request you to have your work posted onto the Padlet. The solutions that you'll be coming up with, you go on and post them onto the Padlet. So when you look in the chat, there is that link. Tap on that link, and that link should be seen on my screen. So when you tap on that link, it's going to lead you to the holistic e-learning platform, and you'll be able to find a lot of content for the different classes. However, our main interest is on the O-level mathematics seminar. So O-level mathematics seminar is the first Padlet that you're going to find. So you are going to go on and click on that Padlet. So once you click on that Padlet, you are going to find all the seminar details that we sent to you, and also you're going to find all the information that you need to know about the seminar. Those who have not yet received the seminar questions are already here, and the invitation letter that you can share with your administrators is already also here. Then we have put again the link for those that have not yet registered. The link is here at the survey. We want to see how you're utilizing the resources you have within your school, and also the different methods that we can use in the teaching and learning of mathematics and other subjects. So when you look at the next column, you are seeing solutions to the different questions that we shall be attempting, so that everyone, you'll be taking a photo, you'll be taking, you can upload a photo, you can upload a PDF and so on, and then you'll be uploading all those materials at this point, in this area here. So everything that we are going to be doing, we are going to keep it in digital format, and we shall be keeping it in this space. So that is briefly what we are going to do, but we shall explain further. In case of any questions, we shall be able to answer at towards the end. Okay, allow me now to invite Mr. Ronald to take us through his presentation on the Jigsaw teaching method. Mr. Ronald, you are most welcome.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kaziba. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, Mr. Ronald, you're clear.
Okay, I know that my connectivity is a little challenging, but on the laptop, but the phone I think will be more stable. So I request members, and maybe I better provide this presentation. Also, let me see if I can put it in the chat so that somebody can. Okay, give me a minute. Let me upload it somewhere. Okay, for those who can, in the chat, I've put the PowerPoint I'm going to use for the presentation, but also if you go onto the Padlet, you should be able to access that, that PowerPoint. So I would like to welcome all of you to this session and to thank Mr. Kaziba for organizing us and making sure that we are here today. And we are starting a long journey until when we complete the O-level seminar, which we run on 25th June and repeated on the 26th June at 2 p.m., especially for the SDA community. The SDA community is very important to us, and we know that their Saturday is a problem, so we are not going to sit back, but to also work with them and ensure that their Saturday is free, such that on Sunday we can have a session with them, plus those who may have competing challenges and need to and cannot attend on Saturday. We hope that on Sunday we should be able to have them. So that link takes you to that Padlet where everything will be happening until the very end, and everyone can download anything from those Padlets. So we chose to use the Jigsaw method of teaching in this seminar, and I just want to run you through what you know, only that the name Jigsaw is here, but these are the same things you do in your schools. And how are we going to use this method in our seminar? Now, when you research about the Jigsaw, it is written that it is easy and effective way to involve all students and increases instructional time on task. Now, I want to take a school, a big school of 4 streams in senior 4 with 90 students each. Your school may not be as big as that, but we are going to work with a school that has 4 streams and 90 students each. Now, each student receives a portion of the material to be read and introduced. So right now, all schools have received the question papers. The question paper is on our Padlet. You can receive a copy and print out 1 copy. Make sure you don't print back to back so that you can post it in the class. And step 1, ask all the students to try and write down all the questions if they can. Now, it is very important that each student is an individual and they are working and not leaving it to the others. So all schools should receive the question papers. Now, if your stream A has 90 students and even B, C, D also have 90 students, let's look at stream A. Divide the stream into 18 teams. Now, what are the 18 teams? Those are the areas, curriculum areas in that question paper. There are 18 curriculum areas. So divide the stream into 18 teams, and that means that each team will have 5 students. So algebra will have 5 students. Linear programming will have 5 students, and so on. 3-dimensional geometry will have 5 students. Now, ask each team to get their, what you call leader, a team leader or group leader, and let that group leader divide up the questions in that curriculum area amongst the students in that group. So if there are 5 students, the area might have less than 5 questions. So 2 students per question, 1 student per question, but let each student have a question they're going to work on. Okay. Now, that group there is what you call a home team. They are now in a home and they are working on a curriculum area. And the curriculum area could be linear programming. Okay, and that is in 1 stream. Now, you've done the same also in other streams. So what happens next? Each team assigns a member a question to answer. That one, we've gone through it. Now, we want to bring together all the 4 classes, and that is in that main hall. Maybe it is in the field, and each stream has a team working on linear programming, a team working on algebra, a team working on statistics. Now bring these teams' curriculum areas together. Now, those are going to become expert groups. There is an expert group on linear programming, an expert group on 3-dimensional, an expert group on statistics. Now, when they meet, they're from different streams. Remember, each of them came with a particular question. So ask them to again regroup in their question. Linear programming question 1, linear programming question 2, linear programming question 3. Now, that is where the discussion across streams starts. You came from stream A as linear programming question 1. You are meeting stream B, linear programming question 1. You are discussing that question and agreeing on the solution, okay? Now, after that, they go back to their classes. The teams return to their streams in teams to present to their group. And that group selects one question that they want to present to the whole class. They started in class, and the team of linear programming went out, met other teams of linear programming. They're coming back as a linear programming team with the solutions, agreed solutions across the four streams. Okay. Now, when they come back to class, each of the 18 teams in a stream has a lead discussant who is going to present that selected one question as experts for that stream. So now each stream has solutions, many solutions of linear programming, but they've selected one solution to present to this class. Now, what happens to the other solutions? Each team pins up the many solutions on the class notes board per curriculum area. So what do we hope to see in schools? Stream A has solutions on linear programming, solutions on statistics, solutions on algebra, solutions and solutions and solutions. And what is happening in class during prep, students are moving from one area to another. They are looking at solutions. Of course, some of them are just copywriting. Others are understanding, but that is the process. That is the process. With the time, they will all get through all those solutions. But remember, this is happening in all the streams. Okay? Now, one more time, bring the streams again together in their different curriculum areas. Now, to do what? To select one question to be presented as a school. Now, if we are in statistics, we have all the solutions, but as a team of statistics in this school, let us agree that this is the best solution we are going to present as a school. And this is the discussant who is going to present for us. So the schools will now have selected discussants for all the 18 regions, and they will have their specific questions. And this is happening across all the schools in Uganda who will be participating. Now, on 11th June at 10 a.m. and on 12th June at 2 p.m. for the SDA and others, we will be meeting. And who will come online? Each school will bring their 18 people. Now, they are coming through this one teacher who is connecting on this laptop, okay? Who is connecting on this laptop. They are coming with the 18 students, and these are the key presenters for that school. And what we will do on Zoom like we are today, we shall create rooms. And these will be 18 rooms labeled according to the areas, the curriculum areas, statistics, linear programming, and so on. Now, as a school, you also need to decide at that point that this is our best solution. This is our best area that we are going to go for as number one. So we shall ask you on Zoom like this to select a group where you feel you want to start from. And then when you join that group, other schools will join with you. You need to agree at that point. You need to agree at that point which school is going to discuss that particular question. And if my school is not selected to discuss that particular question, which other question can I discuss? And we shall have a form that we shall be filling in at that time, where schools, first priority discussant, room this is mentioned, and then the others can include second priority, third priority, so that we now book all the questions. But what will happen on the D-Day? On the D-Day, your school will be in a room where they have chosen to be the priority discussants, maybe on statistics. But there are other schools in that room and may not be able to discuss three-dimensional geometry. They may not be able to discuss linear programming. So are your presenters ready to discuss at that point? So we shall have discussants for the whole country, but each room will have other discussants at that point. And what is important for us is that we shall have a program developed to show the discussants. We shall have discussants in the main room, like we are today in the main room. We shall also have discussants in the breakaway rooms. So on the program, we shall have some presentations in the main room, but we shall also go off. We all disappear in different rooms and we have several discussions, and then we come back to the main room, okay? So that everybody gets chance to discuss. And of course, as you discuss, there are questions that you must answer. So if your school has a main discussant, we shall ask you to rename yourself using the curriculum area. First, then school name, because we are coming as a school and we are connecting here. We need to know which school is going to discuss which question as per the program, so that we can put you in the right room at the right time. Now, this looks a little complicated, but very simple if we all follow neatly. And this presentation is also within the Padlet for you to follow through. But what we will do is to work with you to make sure this is clear. And very important are the discussions within your students before you come even to the national level. Has every student participated? Have they been able to discuss? Have you generated all the solutions in class? Have you posted them on the wall? Is every student having solutions in their book? Do they have all their 100 solutions in their book? Now, that is where the magic is. The magic is in each student having all the 100 solutions in their book. The D-Day is just a climax, because what we are looking for is the D1. We are looking for the D1 in our schools, and it is very important that we work towards the D1s for every student. What we request of you, please take pictures of the discussions so that you share with us pictures. And we see that it happened. It happened in that school. Even if you got a few groups sitting, but it happened. That is the most important. But even better, if everybody participated, then your main discussants, especially that one question, record short videos of presentations. Ask them to start discussing on the board, point your camera to them, and record section by section of their presentation in short videos. Let them first practice, and then you do the final recording. Part A will take you 3 minutes. Part B will take you 3 minutes. Part C like that, because you want to share them with us either on WhatsApp or upload them direct onto the Padlet so that we begin to see the activity within the schools. So ladies and gentlemen, that is what we envision to happen in schools. Before the technology comes in, let the active work happen in schools, and let us share the stories of what is happening so that we can all know that we prepared our students together, and we shall all celebrate the distinctions together and thereby close the gap between our schools in Uganda. So Mr. Kaziba, I want to end there for now. Probably some members have key questions here that they want to ask. I must just end here by reading this slide, which says, advantages of this technique, positive solidarity. We are looking for positive solidarity amongst your students and amongst us as schools. Individual responsibility. It started with one, and now it is for all of us. The differences, heterogeneity. We are different, but the same. Group work. You can imagine the group work that is going to go on. Sustainability of study. They will not stop. They will continue discussing in groups. They will use this method over and over again. Leadership. You will clearly see some students supporting their groups, and that is the leadership. Cooperation, holding hands together, and equal opportunities for success for all of us in all our schools. So I want to stop there, Mr. Kaziba, and if there are any questions, because I think we still have some 6 minutes on this presentation, let's have them before we move on. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ronald. In case you have any question concerning the Jigsaw method, raise up your hand and then you'll be getting a response. In case there is any question you would love to ask, raise up your hand and then you can ask. Just check on the 3 icons beside your name and you'll see the option of raising up your hand. Mr. John, I'm seeing your mic is unmuted. Do you have something to say? In case you have any question, you can. Okay, Mr. John, go on.
I don't have, it was just a mistake.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, in case you want, you can as well use the chat. You can type in the chat your question. It will be answered. Okay. It seems Mr. Ronald, everyone has understood well the Jigsaw teaching approach, because I'm seeing everyone is okay with it. But as we go on, we shall keep reminding you, keep into our school, because it is a very good teaching approach when it comes to the teaching and learning of subjects in schools. It promotes a lot of cooperation among learners, collaboration, and so on. So we need to start using that approach as we implement even the new curriculum. On our agenda, the next agenda item that we have on our is how students can make the presentation at the seminar. What are we expecting teachers to do with the students? What kind of presentations are we expecting to receive from the different schools? So the kind of presentations that we expect, there are many. Those who have been able to attend some of our seminar sessions, you have noticed how our students that have been with us, how they're using the technology to make their presentations. And that is now the way to go. So if at all you have been able to attend, you have seen there is a big difference when it comes to presentation during the seminar sessions that we have been holding. So one approach we expect students to use is writing in their books. We don't encourage them writing on a piece of paper because anytime the piece of paper may get lost, but once he or she writes in a book, then we can be able to trace out. So when you are preparing the student, we shall expect them to write in their books, write neatly in their books the question. So you are not saying that every question the child does, he has to go on and label the number. So the number now, this is number 8. So student can write even the question such that people who are going to be following her presentation can see even the question she's presenting. So they can write neatly in a blue pen or black pen in a book, in their mathematics book or in their revision book, and they work out the number very well. Afterwards, the students will go on and take a photo of their work or of the number that they have done, and then they will be sharing that photo during the presentation. So this is one option. So in case you have not just taken a photo, you can go on and do the scanning. You can encourage them to go on and scan. So those teachers that have phones with a cam scanner is an app that we can use to do some bit of scanning for our work, and our work is always stored in a PDF format or in any other format that you wish to do. So you can use this kind of format during the presentation. So any student that would be using a photo, we expect him or her to have a clear photo such that everyone following can be able to see the question clearly. Another mode is what we call the PowerPoint presentation. So if at all you have all the resources, we know schools have resources, some teachers have the computers, some teachers have good phones, and so on. So we may expect you to use also PowerPoint presentation. Look, you can have a sample. This is one of the presentation that was made by a student at Mengo Secondary School. So this was one of the seminar. So on the seminar day, in case you are going to use a PowerPoint, we expect that the students will write their name, that Amasimwe Anatumsime. Go on and also write your school, that which school am I? Then you say that I'm from Mbale SS. So we shall expect them to write the school that Mbale SS. After writing the school, they will go on and write the question number. Which question number are you? Which question are you attempting? Even you can write on the section you are doing. And therefore, that one will be a very good introduction for your school as well as in marketing strategy. Then go on and type the question you are doing. In case now, this was one of the questions she was doing, write number 2, and then clearly type your question. Type your question and then work out the solutions clearly. So this is another format that we shall expect schools to use during their presentation. So you write the number and then they work out, and then the other students will be able to follow the discussion. For every number that a child attempts, he has to write the question such that even people who may not be having the question papers with them, they can be able to follow up with the discussion that is going on. So this is another format that we shall expect schools to use during the presentation on that day. Another format is the use of the chalk and whiteboard. So some schools have chalkboards, other schools have the whiteboards. So it will not matter what you have. So in case your student is going to be using a whiteboard on that day, what do we request for? One, you must have a good camera with you. It can be a phone camera, it can be the other digital cameras we know, or it can be even a good laptop with a good camera. So what you do is that in case your student is going to attempt a number, you can write the question number and the question on the blackboard or on the whiteboard before he or she comes to do the presentation. After you writing the question, and after writing the question, I'll focus the camera onto the board such that we can see clearly what the student is doing. So we expect that your camera is very good. It brings out the image, it brings out the photo and everything that the student is doing. So that is another format that we shall be expecting. So you must also be able to capture the voice of the student when he's explaining. But this one will require you to first practice. So what you do days before the seminar comes in, you have to go on and then record a short video of this student working out and see whether technology will allow us on that day. First, record a sample of the student explaining and working out the number to see that everything is set. So this is another format that we shall expect you to use on that day. You can use the chalk or the whiteboard. Then another format, depending on the resources you have, is what you call the whiteboard of the Zoom. So Zoom has another feature of using the whiteboard. So some schools may need to use the whiteboard. That one is also very fine. So in case you want to use the whiteboard, please, it is also acceptable. You can go on and use it to do your work. So a whiteboard is also encouraged you can use it. But for schools that have writing graphic tablets, that one can be a good tool for your students to use it. Other formats, you can also use the PDF format. You can have your work done very well in your book. After having the work done in the book, then you can scan all the photos for that particular work that you want to display on that day, and then you can use it on that day. So that is another format that we can use. So those are some of the different formats that we shall be expecting schools to use to do the presentation. But for every number that you are going to be doing, we shall request you to take on a simple video of your student working it out. You can use the chalk or the whiteboard. Take a video, a simple video. A student can record him or herself before the seminar, and we have those videos captured somewhere, such that even when the network is not stable on that day, we can go on and play the video for other students, because you know that network at times may be unstable. So we shall request you that have the video, capture that simple video of the student well dressed in a school uniform, capture his or her video, and then go on and share with us the video. For us, we shall be able to upload it on YouTube. We shall be able to upload it on a Padlet, such that students can be able to. I'm going to end here with the presentation on some of the different ways we shall be expecting you to provide your solutions. And then we can invite in some questions. In case there is any question you have concerning the presentation, please, you can go on and ask.
Maybe, Stephen, just to emphasize that on the 11th, Saturday next week, and on Sunday, 12th, we shall be here to allow you practice. When you come on Zoom, as we go into the different rooms to select questions, there will be presentations, mini presentations in those groups to see who is ready. And that should help your students to practice so that they are more comfortable on the seminar day. But you also test out which approach you are going to use. Are you going to write on a board and you use your camera to show us what you're doing? Are you using a PowerPoint? Have you scanned your work, students' work, and put it in a PowerPoint? Or are you running them direct on your phone? So let us prepare for that day and practice so that we are sure that we can present well. We also encourage you to record these videos, but record them during the day when there is light so that they're very clear. In case your school is failing to present, then we play the video, okay? The school can present through video or they can present live. And if you present through video, when we play the video and there are any questions, then you can answer the questions because you are in the audience. So let us use all the available opportunities to make sure that your school is able to make a presentation. Thank you, Mr. Kaziba.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ronald. Mr. Rodin, do you have anything to add on? Mr.
I think his microphone is just open.
Okay. Okay. We shall be dropping the link here for the holistic groups. We shall be dropping it in the chat. Okay. Thank you so much. Now, next on our agenda, we are going to have sharing of our experiences, challenges faced in the teaching of mathematics at secondary level, and the way forward. Allow me now to invite Mr. Ronald to take us through this session. Mr. Ronald, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kaziba. I'll just put a YouTube link in the chat for the past seminars that were held during COVID time, so that the members here can have a glimpse of what the students do in these seminars. We actually had a very good presentation, I think, coming in from Iganga girls, Iganga SS, is it Iganga SS? Yes, where the student demonstrated a frustrum using Manila paper and how a frustrum comes out of or is cut out of a cone. That was a wonderful presentation. So where possible, if your students can demonstrate something, allow them to think and demonstrate that. Let us see the creativity and innovation out of our schools. And let us learn from each other on how to do well in some of these presentations. But I also know that you might be 4 teachers teaching this one class, and maybe you are the only teacher who is interested in this and the other teachers are not interested. And when you take their students or involve their students, they will complain. But I just want to remind you that those students are for one school. There are no, you are not 4 schools in one school because you have 4 streams and 4 teachers. You are just one school. So it is important that all the students get the same experience. And likewise, we are one country, we are one Uganda. Our quest is to make sure that the students in whatever school they are, they get the same experience. And that's why this online interaction comes here. There are many seminars going on. There are many seminars going on in Central, in North, maybe in West, but we want to use this approach to get everybody together at least once in a school year. And that is why we are running this math seminar, and hopefully we shall have other subjects following suit with this same kind of presentation. So, ladies and gentlemen, there are challenges when we are teaching mathematics. We now want to open this space to hear from you. What are some of the issues challenging you as a mathematics teacher in your schools? And what are the likely solutions we can come up with? So we are now open. You raise your hand and then tell us, what is that challenge that has been bothering you as a mathematics teacher in that school, in your work, in your career, and what do the others think about the challenge? Anyone who wants to start us off? Anyone who wants to start us off with a listing any issues? Anything that has been bothering you as a mathematics teacher as far as teaching mathematics is concerned? It may just be a setback. Yes, Mr. Masava, go on.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dungu and Mr. Kaziva, for the presentations. Now, to me, I have taught math, and my greatest challenge is how to integrate the ICT bit of it. You find that there are some concepts that can be easily maybe explained if you're using this ICT like projector and maybe installing some of these softwares on the computers. But you find that in most schools, math time is not timetabled in the labs. And the time you want to take their students, you find all the labs are occupied and you cannot do anything beyond that. So that has been my greatest challenge. And it is now even worse with the new curriculum that has now been rolled. You really push, maybe you have your plan, your lesson you've planned in PowerPoint, but you cannot show those experiences to students. I don't know how others are finding it, but to me, really, I feel that is very hard for me, this side. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Masaba. Anyone who has found a solution to that? It's such a big challenge, I can feel. Anyone who wants? Yes, Ernest.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Dungu. Well, I realized that learning becomes very easy and a little bit meaningful if maybe learners try to connect the reality with what they are learning, most especially in mathematics. So I'm thinking before integrating ICT directly, it's better if maybe we bring out the reality of a mathematics concept to the learners. How is it related to our real life? There to become a little bit easier for them to grasp the concept. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Thank you.
Okay, Ernest is talking about making mathematics real in real life. Instead of just reading statistics from a book, you actually go out and collect statistics on something. Even if you went to senior one to ask them about or measure their heights, you could even go to the sick bay and get these statistical data. That will teach the students that in future they will be collecting statistics. And that is very, very important. Mr. Masaba's issue was For example, when you look at the volume of a cone, and you say it is a third pi r squared h. That comes from a third area of base times height. But why is it a third? Where is the third coming from? Does anyone here know why the third comes around? Where the third comes from? If we talk about volume of a cone. I hope it is a third pi r squared h. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So it is a third pi r squared h, and pi r squared is area of the cross section. Area of cross section times height. Where does this third come from if we are not going into integration, because somebody is going to take us into integration anyway? Would anyone know? You know, these are very interesting things where we use formulae, and a student can ask a question like that. But teacher, why is it a third? When you say, it is just a third. Yes, Jonah.
That's there because of its nature. It is triangle. That's why we introduced that as
I have missed Jonah. Who has heard Jonah? Jonah, you want to go again? I really missed. The line was not clear for me.
Mr. Ronald?
Yes, please.
Yes, Mr. Jonas said that a third is because of the triangle, that the cone looks like a triangle. So I think he looked at the three sides.
Anyone else who has an idea? Yes, Stanley.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think when we are dealing with the volume, we are dealing with three-dimensional figures. I think that's where the third generates from. Because we are looking at three directions.
Oh, because of three.
Yes, three-dimensional geometry. Three-dimensional figures. We're looking at the three directions.
Okay, very interesting.
Because if we look at area, we have two. Then if we are going to volume, then we have the three.
So
sometimes we obtain volume after having area times any other side.
Okay. So is area having a half at all times? That could be another interesting discussion. So friends, you can see that we also probably need time to meet and investigate on such things, because a student can stun you with this question. But you might discover, yes, Kahinji, SS Photo, are you saying something? Okay, you might discover that if you go online on the internet and you ask this question, volume of a cone, you might find a video that explains how the volume of a cone comes about. And I think this is where Mr. Masaba was coming from, that in trying to explain some things in class, you may just use the video. And one of the videos I saw online that I used to use was actually if it's a feeling that when you have a cube, whose area is, whose volume is area of cross section times height, area of cross section times height, when you split it, that cone, so that cube can be split into three equal volumes. Three equal volumes, and one of the volumes is a third area times height, and that volume is equal to the volume of a cone. So the principle of a third actually comes from splitting a cube into three equal parts. And the videos will show you how this cube splits into three equal parts, and how one of the volumes is actually equivalent to volume of a cone. But that is something I'm just putting out to you to investigate further. And in investigating this further, one of the reliable places is the internet. One of the reliable places for research is the internet. And whatever you discover on the internet, you put it somewhere for others to look at, to use. And that platform is what we are providing for in this seminar as the Padlet. Beyond the seminar, we shall use this Padlet for all these learnings that people discover along the way, so that we all become knowledgeable in the same level, in the same way. And even for the new student teachers that are coming, in this program, we are proposing that we are going to connect our schools to the teacher training colleges, such that you mentor student teachers. You can mentor them by asking them to read what you have researched and placed somewhere. You can mentor them by coming online like this and have a discussion with them. You can mentor them by bringing them to your classroom through Zoom before they even come to your school. And finally, they will come to your school and become very good teachers because you are mentoring them. Okay. So any other challenge? Mr. Masava, thank you for bringing us to that discussion. Any other challenge that one of us has met in teaching? But we have not answered you, Mr. Masava. My response to Mr. Masava's question, actually challenge, is that if you are going to dedicate yourself to teaching students well, like Ernest said, you will take them in real life. Like Mr. Masava said, you will take them to use ICT late in the evening, on Saturday, on Sunday, if it is a boarding school, late during prep, okay? Now, it requires time. It requires dedication. It is not going to be a simple way. It's not going to be easy on us, but someone should be doing it. What is important is share your story. What are you doing so that I learn from you as another teacher? Okay. So any other challenge that you have been facing as a mathematics teacher in your school? Any other challenge? You mean mathematics teachers don't find challenges, or they don't have any challenges? This is very good now. Let's list the challenges. If we can't discuss them, we will discuss them in future, but let's list them. Let's know what's happening in our schools.
Hello?
Yes, go on.
Good morning.
Good morning, Rodin.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Towards what you brought on board, for me, I'm a teacher of mathematics secretary at SS School. The main challenge I always experience, especially from my school where I'm teaching, being a girls' school, the attitude of the girls towards mathematics is a little bit not all that very positive. A case in point whereby work is given to a student, you wanted to assess whether a student has understood something, but either because of laziness and a spirit of lack of teamwork among themselves, some of them fail to do the work you have given them. That one also demotivate teachers as far as helping the learners are concerned in the teaching of mathematics and learning. That's the area where I look at it as being a challenge in teaching mathematics, especially in a single-sex school like the one I'm in, especially in Gulu right now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Rodin. Rodin needs some answers from you or way forward. Rodin needs some. Now, do you realize that we don't have even any lady on this forum here? Is there a lady connecting? Mathematicians. Have you made mathematics look to be a mathematics for males only? Is that gender responsive? Any response to what Rodin has raised? Attitude of students towards mathematics is poor. For him in his school, which is a girls' school, he's seeing that. They don't work in groups. Yes, Ernest.
Thank you, Ronald. Well, I want to respond to my brother. I'm a teacher of math in Kansanga City. We have around 4 streams. Well, I don't know how you people here will take me, but as long as there is no meaning attached to whatever is being done in class, you find that people do not develop the love of learning a given thing. And when it comes to mathematics, already the girls have a negative attitude. So unless you clearly show out to them how something is very important, how something can be applied in their real life, then they cannot actually develop the interest. It's not very easy as I'm speaking. It takes time. It takes time to build someone's positive attitude towards a given subject. And in this case, specifically mathematics. It's a language we use in science, so it takes time for someone to master, for someone to develop the love. Yeah, that's what I can say.
Thank you, Ernest. Before I go to Jonah, I think. Okay, Jonah, go on. Jonah, go on.
Okay, my name is Okiring Jonah. I teach in a highway, moving this side. So my advice to my fellow teacher is that he should try to influence
Jonah? Are we losing Jonah?
I was like, for him to handle the class, he should use the best teaching method. For example, going there with very interesting stories such that the learners can focus their attention. You know, when the learners lecture, they will love the subject also which the teacher is teaching. So you should always try to bring the influential stories to them.
Okay, storytelling in class is a powerful method. Relating what we teach to the world of work is very important. Mr. Masaba?
Mr. Dungu, I also wanted to add that, okay, I've not taught entirely girls' school, but I've taught a school where the girls were majority in the math class, and I experienced the same challenge. But now what I would do is I would organize about 20 questions. At least have this girl's name appear on each question, like maybe 1, 2, up to 10. One is for this one is for, then they would try out maybe at their free time. These girls will always want to show themselves that they know something, especially when the concept is picked well. So what I would encourage my brother is that maybe if means would allow, can have some questions printed. Of course, you don't print very hard ones. Then you put names against those questions. They will always try their best to see that they master that concept and come and discuss with their friends. That was my submission, Mr. Dung.
Okay, thank you. And I know this seminar is going to change things because they're going to work from their home groups to expertise and then back to the home group and then preparing to present. I'm sure some of them will find interest. But there is a very important message I think Rodin brought out, attitude of students towards mathematics, and this attitude is killed in the primary section. I think, Mr. Kaziba, let's take note. We need to engage the primary school teachers. We need to organize, and I hope the teachers here will find time for such engagement with the primary school teachers. We need to arrange a day when we have a discussion like this with 4 primary school teachers and ask them, what are the issues in primary? And they will bring out these issues. They will tell you how the mathematics teacher puts on a red shirt and holds a stick, and everybody knows the mathematics teacher. And in the staff room, you know, mathematics teachers sit in one corner and they feel they are good. They're the best. And everybody in the staff room fears them. After all, even the head teacher gives them more money than anyone else. And they are tough guys, and you know, and they just go into the blackboard and scatter their thing. Oh, if you go into primary section and ask about mathematics, you'll get a whole lot of issues. But Andrew Chams, you are here. Andrew, maybe you have an experience.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Dungu. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, Andrew.
Yes, you talked about a very good point about the attitude. And just to say, the good news is that attitude can be changed. That's a good news for us, I think. And we've all had these situations where something was hard for you, but then there was just this teacher who came and he made the concept so easy that you fell in love with the subject again. So yeah, just to reaffirm what you're saying, we can actually change the attitude. Actually, we are agents of change. That's a good news. The not so good news is that it requires some bit of creativity and time to invest in making sure that you understand the concepts well and explain them in the simplest languages they can understand. Okay, just to circle back, forgive me if I'm circling back to the first question that was raised about how to incorporate ICT. So it requires effort on the teacher's side to improve yourself every year, every month, every week, I don't know, to try to improve yourself, to improve the knowledge you know. I will give you like 2 examples of resources I've come across. One of them I don't know if you've heard about them, they're called math circles. Has anyone heard of the math circles?
Please take us through those.
It's an international organization of teachers teaching mathematics, but with some interesting activities learners can do to stimulate their interest. Actually, if you Google math circles, you come across them. They have very good activities you can actually work on in your school setting, and you find them quite very helpful. Yes, thank you. That's the one, math circles. Now, the other thing I would suggest, there are many, like as he's showing you, there are many activities there you can pick on for your class, and they can actually do them. And they'll love the activity. Human beings love things which stimulate their brain, You do something, you feel good, I achieved something, I achieved a task. The second resource I would like to share with you is called Geogebra.org. I don't know if some of you have heard about it. It is Geogebra.org, yes. It is a very good resource for learning. You can, if you're teaching maybe A-level, curve sketching, you can demonstrate there. They have geometry there. You can teach people geometry. They have vectors, 3 dimensions are also there actually. And the good thing is that there are YouTube lessons on how to use the resource. Okay, they also have data, statistics, so many things, beautiful things you find there. And yeah, you enjoy this, especially teaching like things like 3 dimensions. You'll be able to find their resources there. Things like a tangent of a curve changing, gradient of a curve changing along each point. There are resources there done for you already. Videos you can just customize for yourself. There are also other things. The third point I'd like to make is that sometimes we make mathematics very technical. Like we need to add a human story to mathematics. For example, if you are teaching something like binomial expansion, it would be good if you had some background on how the binomial expansion someone came up with, what problem we are working on. And for example, if you are teaching series, you can talk about how to sum up the terms of an AP. And that story of Gauss when he was 12 years old in a class, and the teacher gave them an exercise to add up all the counting numbers 1 to 100 to make them busy for the time they're making noise. And this boy came up with the solution very fast. And so the students would ask, how did he do it? You see now, so I'm not saying you go into the extra details, but there are these short stories which provide a human element to the mathematics. Like all the mathematics we are doing is a consequence. So people are trying to solve a particular problem. Like if you're talking about a circle, people are trying to investigate properties of a circle and so many other things. So how do you find these stories? Well, you Google and then you summarize them, make it interesting so that people know that these things we are learning, we are done by human beings and they were trying to solve some problem. And that's the most important thing about mathematics, that you develop problem-solving skills. You encounter a challenge, then you think of, what do I know so far? What is required? Can I try this? Can I try that? Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay, Andrew, which school are you?
I'm a Kauter Academy, Makerere.
Okay, now I can see we already have some presenters for a mathematics seminar, not seminar, but teachers workshop. The new teacher policy reminds us that every 3 years, we shall be required to renew our teaching certificates. but you must have done continuous professional development. You must have undertaken a course. Maybe within amongst us, we can have providers of knowledge, and we create a mathematics course that we can keep giving to teachers and develop ourselves. I think what Andrew is talking about, we really need to develop ourselves. There is no shortcut. And the best way to do it is to work together, to support each other. He has given us 2 great resources. And Mr. Kaziba, I think on our seminar Padlet page, we better put resource page so that members can put there all the resources they've come across. You just have to put the link and tell us a little bit about this resource so that we can use this time to look at building a resource center to help ourselves as teachers. Okay, so we've got 2 great actions here. Developing ourselves, either at a teacher's workshop or people reading on their own, sharing what we have found useful to others, but also work out a session with the primary school teachers so that we start to engage the primary school teachers on this and let them not send students to us who have already lost their attitude. But also we have had members say that let us make the learning interesting. Let's add a story. Let us make it connected to the real world. If you are teaching ratios and my friend Rodin, you are in a girls' school, the kitchen, even just taking a walk to the kitchen so that the students realize how the food is being cooked in terms of ratios. Talking to that lady, how they measure the salt that goes into the beans and measure the water, but also if they were preparing sauce, how do they estimate the onions, the tomatoes, and so on? It would be another exciting moment for them. But remember, you are taking them through ratios and you are getting them into the whole bit of mathematics in that area. Andrew, is that hand up again? Mr. Kaziba, do we still have some time to carry on this discussion, or it's 11:24 now when you look at our agenda? This has been an interesting discussion and maybe some more issues are coming out.
Mr. Nad, we still have time. We still have time.
Okay. Friends, what are the issues challenging you as a teacher of mathematics? I know you have other subjects, but let's keep the other subjects. Today we are mathematicians. Tomorrow we shall switch to other subjects. Yes, Emmanuel. It would be good to tell us the school as you come on. Emmanuel, the way you wrote Emmanuel, I don't know if that is Mupagasa Emmanuel. Go ahead, Mupagasa.
I was saying one of the other challenge which I envisage in the learners may not readily take on mathematics projects. A member mentioned about attitude. These projects, when they identify them, then again it comes another challenge on having the scores for them. If they are able to identify the projects, then making a uniform score from what you have taught them and making sure that you record that sometimes keeps a challenge to many secondary school teachers. And now with the blended learning, this one, how we are going to use videos and many other things, I think we can use that resource to identify projects in what we teach and even be able to guide our learners to become a little more innovative, like the previous discussant was giving us some resources. That way we can handle the project in the new lower secondary curriculum scoring much better. I submit. Thank you very much.
Okay. Emmanuel has raised quite a number of issues. I first heard that learners will not be interested in mathematics projects, but I think they will be interested, like somebody said, as long as you relate mathematics to the real world, learners will be interested. But the key issue there is assessment of projects so that you have a uniform score. Maybe that is also another topic that we need to engage with, how to design projects and also how to assess projects. But is there anyone here who has lately been involved in the new curriculum and has thought about a mathematics project that the students are doing? You know, the new curriculum is here to stay, and it is very important that we think about some project work. Anyone who has lately done a project or who has had a teacher plan a project? Mathematics projects. Mr. Kaziba, tell us something.
Okay. At the moment, the discussion that is on, as far as the projects are concerned, is the one to bring in what you call a project-based learning. And one of the projects we have been able to work on was House of the Future. So House of the Future was the project title, and students were required to design the different kinds of houses using different shapes after studying geometric construction. So in this project, students were required to find out any resource around the school, around the community that you can use to have a structure of how your future house can look like. So every student went on, some used the paper, others used the clay, others used anything, and they were able to come up with different designs they can use at their homes. Others went on and had to put on a compound and so on. And one of the compounds that was developed on one of the houses that the students used was later bought by the school, because the school was constructing one of the buildings and the design was good that the student came up with, because the student included in some flowers, included on different things, and the school even went on and gave the student money because the compound, the design that the student came up with was really very nice. So when they were dealing with geometric construction skills, the project was on House of the Future. So everyone had to come up with how he wants his house to look like. And at a later time, these students were able to get some skills on how to design the different structures using different objects.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you, Stephen. And I can imagine somebody wondering, where did you start thinking about this from? But this is what is going to happen if Stephen can now share that our Padlet and what they went through to make sure that it happened, but also share some of the outcome of the students, of course, requesting the students that their work is shared. Then others can begin to think deeper. They can begin to think deeper on what is possible. And who knows, we might get a whole resource of projects such that next year, when somebody comes to teach geometric, the topic on geometric objects, they have a whole resource to borrow from, to adapt. They can pick one area here and one area there and have another full project. Is there anyone else who has thought about a project? You may not have done it. You may not have done it, but yes, Ernest.
Thank you. I've not yet done any project, but thinking about something after maybe teaching sequences and patterns. Because I remember when I told my students to find out where they find maybe designers applying the concept of sequence and patterns. I got so many views from the learners. Some were telling me tailoring, maybe designing clothes, others in compound designers. So I realized they can use that knowledge to solve the problem of unemployment among the youths, where someone can create his own job of being maybe interior designers, something of that kind. So I enjoyed the topic of sequence and patterns because of the practical part of it that learners were trying to digest out of it. Yeah, thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Ernest, for sharing. Erisa?
Thank you, Mr. Dungu. I was also teaching geometry here, and I also interacted with the students and they came up with ideas. I, of course, first of all told them what a project is. They understood well the project and they knew that it is attempting to solve a problem within a community, and we looked at their classroom as the community. So one of the group told me that the greatest problem in their community, they were looking at their classroom level, is that when teachers come to class, they always carry textbooks, others walk with phone, and they have always lacked where to put these things. So sometimes teachers come with a piece of chalk and really they don't have where to put. Instead, you inconvenience those sitting in front by putting them there or giving a student to keep for you, then get it at the end of the lesson. So they thought that the knowledge they had got in construction and measurements during that time would help them solve that problem by creating a table using those shapes that we had looked at. And specifically, they were looking at a round table. They wanted it to be unique. And they also thought that these pieces of chalk, even when they have solved that problem, if they come up with the table, but the pieces of chalk would become another problem by dating that table again. So they also came up with an idea that if they can come up with an envelope such that this table, an envelope is put, and every time you come with pieces of chalk in an envelope, and maybe on that day you have not come with pieces of chalk, at least you check that envelope, it will always have some pieces of chalk. And when you have your laptop, you have your textbooks, there is that table you will always find there. Yeah, it sounded exciting, but now when we sat down to compute the costs, they were a bit high. However, we managed to come up with the envelopes. Thank you so much.
Wow, wow, wow. Now, these are very many stories. And what, for me, what I request is that let's use the online platforms. Now that we've started a discussion during the seminar time, let's use the seminar platform for discussing projects, possible projects. And Mr. Kaziba, we shall put a column for possible projects so that members here can actually post. Now that Padlet, if Mr. Kaziba, you can share the link again because some members are new, they've just joined, share the link for the Padlet in the chat. And if we can go direct to that seminar Padlet, which you could also share the Padlet on the screen so that the members can see the Padlet. Once you click and get there, to add a resource, Mr. Kaziba, I'm waiting for you to share. To add a resource, resource page, you see the resource page is there. You just click on that plus. Mr. Kaziba, click on the plus. Just click on the plus where you want to add. Click on the plus and it opens a space. So you type your subject there. Well, what do you want to project on?
Sorry, I have
just download that. You type, just type there, and the icons there, Mr. Kaziba, you could show us the first icon. The first icon, what does it have? You upload if you want to upload a document. Then the next one is when you want to take a photo right there. Okay, if you're on a phone, you will take a photo. The link, click on that link. If you click on the link, it will show you where to paste the link on top there. Copy it on YouTube, put it here, and then you click on the arrow. The arrow will now post the link, and you say something. You say something about the, so you post there, Geogebra materials. Click on the link. There is an arrow.
No, that one is already. That is already.
You posted. And then you write briefly. Click on the arrow, the other arrow up there, Mr. Kaziba. That one. Then it will bring
and that gift was sick.
You are still publishing Geogebra, so you put there Geogebra, and then you publish. Okay. When you publish, it comes. It's already there. Okay. Becomes part. So that is how it is, like WhatsApp. That's why we want this Padlet. It's simple and easy. WhatsApp. And if you want to download anything, you click on it. There are three dots there. Those 3 dots will help you to see what you can do about the document. Okay. So this is as easy as WhatsApp, and we need to learn how to use it. Herbert, I'm going to mute you a bit. Yes. So let us make use of this Padlet. Let's make use of this Padlet to start off, so that we share resources on what is possible within the projects. I know NCDC is also trying to find the best way these projects are going to be done, and they don't have all the answers. Despite the fact that they brought the new curriculum, they don't have all the answers. The answers are with you through discussions like this. So let us keep these discussions going. Let us meet when we can meet online. Let us build ourselves. No one is going to, by the way, no one is going to come and build you. No one is going to come and buy data for you to attend such meetings. And I want to thank you for sacrificing. No one is going to pay you for the time you are going to put in to help students learn. Maybe when they get distinctions, everyone will look back and say, ah, that teacher, what magic did he do or did she do? Okay. But it is about you and the work you are doing. And that is what has kept many of you going, especially those who have taught for years. It's about the work you are doing, making it better each time. But when we work together, it will become easier and easier. One last issue. Is there any issue you'd like us to note? Challenge. You know, we started with challenges and we went into projects. Projects are also challenges. One other issue that you find as a mathematics teacher challenging. Yes, somebody, we. I don't see your name, I see we. Please go ahead. Open your microphone and speak. My friend who has put up your hand, open your microphone and speak.
Okay, I hope everyone is hearing me right now.
Yes, where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Mr. Were. I'm Were Musa, Mr. Were Musa.
Yes.
I'm a teacher at St. Janan.
Okay. Bombo.
Yeah, Kabalagala.
Ah, Kabalagala. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I've sent some messages there in the chat. My concern have always been about the issue of projects. I remember even at one time I tried inboxing you about it. We tried to share something about it, but I think today has been a wonderful day on my side because I've always had a lot of issues, especially to do with the projects. But I think today's session has added a lot of value to me. But maybe just one other challenge which I want to share with you is about the pressure which always comes from the administrators, especially the DOS. Just as you are aware, this new curriculum of ours is student-centered, and it requires a lot of time. Now, one of the challenges which we face as teachers, especially as the teachers of mathematics, is that you find yourself being pushed to complete the syllabus very fast. Yet, at the end of the day, this kind of curriculum needs a lot of time. Maybe we can try to share about that.
Okay, anyone who wants to give a response? Completing the syllabus at senior 1 and 2 in the new curriculum?
Yeah, now you realize that because they indicated that maybe in the first term there are some specific topics which are supposed to be covered. So you realize that sometimes when he checks and realizes that maybe you have left out maybe one topic, or there's one topic which you introduced but you have not yet covered the whole of it, it always becomes a problem, or it always becomes an issue, especially for administrators.
Okay. Any experiences, those who are teaching senior 1 and 2, any experiences so far? Yes, Mr. Kaziba.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ronat and Mr. Were, for the submission. I think one of the duties we need to do is to sensitize our administrators. The administrators at the moment are not on the same page we are at. So most of the administrators, they don't know what the new curriculum requires. They don't know what actually the teachers are undergoing through in order for them to deliver the lessons. You find that the mathematics lesson or mathematics is supposed to have 4 periods in a week, but you'll find that on the timetable, they have given it few hours. So with that, you cannot be able to cover everything on time. Secondly, some of the books that were published have a lot of content that is not needed or that is not supposed to be there. So as a teacher, as you are teaching, you need to to summarize for them. You need to leave out some of those things that were included. You find that I will not mention the company, but you find that a book has very, very many activities that you cannot be able to, once you do all of them, you cannot be able to complete the chapters that are required within a term. So we need to minimize on the number of activities that we give to the learners. But once you apply this jigsaw method approach, when you are teaching, you give the learners, you say, this group, work on this, work on this, work on this. You'll find out that you can be able to complete a given chapter within a specified period of time. Thank you. That is my submission.
Okay. Thank you, Stephen. What I find very helpful is that we need these discussions, and probably we need to bring a discussion like this termly, so that we support each other, so that we learn from each other, but also keep an eye on the online platform so that whatever is posted there becomes helpful to you. Is there anyone else who wants to add to Mr. Wede's problem or anything else before we close this session? Okay, we can only say that we need more of these sessions. We need to come back sometime and talk more about our challenges, but also be open and bring challenges. I'm not sure if we now have a lady on this platform. Do we have a lady who has come on board in this meeting today? Maybe Saturdays are also an issue. Ladies are busy and we put meetings on Saturdays. What do you expect? Now that is also another issue here. Gender sensitivity, we need to be, but I hope we have lady mathematics teachers in our schools, and we need to promote mathematics for girls so that we can get better numbers in future. I want to thank you for opening out and sharing with us these discussions, and Mr. Kaziva for concluding. Yes, somebody in Fort Photo is saying something. Go ahead, Kahinju SS Fort Photo. Oh, he's put down his hand. Mr. Kaziva? A-level seminar as we conclude?
Yes. Oh, yes, Mr. Leonard, you can go on and probably talk about it.
Okay, so friends, we are now talking about the O-level seminar that will end on 25th June and 26th June. Our proposal was that we begin to also talk about the A-level seminar, which I think we had scheduled, was it for 2nd July? Mr. Kaziva, if you can remind me.
Yes, 2nd July.
Okay, we wanted to hear from you, especially those who cut across to A-level, about the A-level seminar. A-level seminar, when you watch the video I've put in the chat, you will see how the A-levels enjoyed their seminar too in 2021. So what is your proposal? For us, we are proposing that a week later, we do the A-level seminar, and that is done. But what is important is collecting items for the seminar. Do you have an item you would like to be added to the A-level seminar so that you share it, so So Mr. Kaziba, how do we share it? Do you put your email in the chat now? Do we also put, let's put a column. We will have many columns on the Olevel, on the Olevel Padlet at that point. Maybe you share your email. Yes, the email for Mr. Kaziba is in the chat. Please send him any A-level item you'd like. Is second good time for you, 2nd July, so that we put away these mathematics seminars and give room to other subjects to hold their seminars too? Of course, the idea about the jigsaw is the same idea you take to A-level. We are not going to repeat the process. It's the same process that goes to A-level. Okay, we'll start the discussion in the chats, and then we'll see if there is any objection to this. I know we cannot have a common time, but we need to continue planning and get these things out of the way. Any experience we get at this point is an experience for the future. When we got an experience of this during COVID time, for those who attended the seminars during COVID time, I think it was 5th December 2020 when we had the O-level seminar, and then we had the A-level seminar somewhere in March 2021. The experience we got was exciting. So if we do it again and get more experience, it becomes more exciting. And that should support us in our work. We also propose that as the term ends, we will think of a workshop. A workshop, it's usually mathematics and physics together, so that it is done once, but we propose that we shall have a workshop, and then during the workshop, we shall again come back to these sessions where we mention issues and get some answers from our colleagues. I want us to close at this point. Mr. Kaziba, anything we need to add?
Thank you so much, Mr. Ronald. Space, do you have something to say?
No, I've just attended, I've just joined you.
Wow, we have a lady in the house. That is great.
I've
Which
just
school?
joined you. This is
Which
Wambara
school?
Modern Vocational Secondary School.
In which district?
Yeah. It is in Rukunji. It is in Rukunji.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. We have been missing a lady. We have been missing a lady, but now we have a lady in the house. That is good. But we shall share the recording.
All right.
We are not going to repeat this session tomorrow. Our SDA friends will listen to the recording, but then next Saturday, we are doing the trial testing of presentations. Your best presenter amongst the 18 needs to come on and we see their presentation, how it will run. But we shall repeat that on Sunday, 12th at 2 p.m. so that the SDAs also prepare. I'm talking about SDA, but it could also be somebody who has missed on Saturday and they want their school to participate on Sunday. There are many competing needs and we need to provide for support to everyone. With that, I want to thank all of you who have joined this session. I know you are representing your school, you are representing your region, you are representing yourself and your students, and that is very important to hear. We have not done any basic introductions, but as members kept talking, you must have listened to their districts and where they are calling from. I want to thank Mr. Kaziba Stephen, who is our administrator at the Holistic E-Learning platform. He's the engine behind this work. And I want to request that all of us, we give him flowers. Do you know where to find flowers?
No.
Yeah, now you better look on your screen. Okay, if you're on a phone, that is, but somewhere, if you get reactions, you should be able to put flowers for Mr. Kaziba, so that we thank Mr. Kaziba for the good work he is doing. Otherwise, I want to thank you so much for the time you put in, and also hope that you will return on 11th with your students so that you can share with them or listen to them as they prepare their presentations. Over to you, Mr. Kaziba, for concluding remarks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ronald. Let me request space to prepare to give us a concluding prayer. Space, you can prepare yourself, that will give us a concluding prayer. I want also to thank Mr. Ronald.
Mr. Kaziba, it looks like somebody is saying we didn't answer them. I don't know if there is a question in the chat that we did not look at. How can I get access to Olevel Padlet link? Post this in the chat for them.
Okay.
Post this in the chat for them. Okay.
Olevel Padlet.
Shall we have an Olevel mathematics? We answered that. Where is the link to the Padlet? Yes. And the WhatsApp group link. Even the WhatsApp group link.
Okay. WhatsApp group. We have a staff room. We call it a staff room, where we sit as teachers to discuss the different items, where we share some work, like the projects and everything. So we share a lot of things as teachers. So that is one of the WhatsApp groups. We have very many WhatsApp groups. So that is one of them. So you can join that one. We share very many things. We share the mocks, we share the notes in case there is anything you need concerning the delivery of your lesson, and anything we share at those using the different platforms. So in case you have any material that you would wish to share with everyone, please go on and share on those different WhatsApp groups. Then the Padlet link is already there in the chat. Just click on that Padlet link. Those who have just joined in, we say that once you click on that Padlet link, look out for where you have the Olevel mathematics seminar, and then that is the one that we shall be using to post anything related to that seminar. Let's start ourselves. We shall have also the Olevel mathematics seminar. In case you have any question, there is anything you want us to include in the seminar, please go on and share either on WhatsApp, or you can send to Mr. Ronald, you can send to me or anyone, such that we can have everything set. So we are saying it can be on the 2nd of July, but please share your views such that we can plan as a team. I'm very sure once we join our hands as teachers, we shall be able to get competent citizens at the end of the day. We want to see that mathematics is one of the best performed subjects come this year. And I'm sure once we join the efforts, we shall have very many distinctions coming in from all over the country. So let us do all it takes to see that we have everything done the right way. For the videos and other resources, please go on and post on the Padlet. In case you find any challenges, you can still send them. We shall be able to share them on the Padlet. I want to thank you once again. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for sacrificing your data. And thank you so much for the time you have sacrificed to see that you attend this session. Thank you so much, and may the good Lord bless you all. Let us meet again next weekend to have some of the presentations, and then we prepare our children for the seminar. I'm very sure those questions that you received, those questions are really very good. They are well researched, and there is a lot. Once a child does all those questions, I want to assure you that is a distinction assured. Once she captures everything, once she understands and she does everything, we shall be able to pass with flying colors at the end. We shall also provide with you some of the questions that we did for the previous seminars, such that they can be able to practice. In case you want also, Mr. Ronald posted one of the YouTube videos, the channel where we posted some of the solutions that we had for the previous seminars. Just visit those channels and you'll be able to receive the previous seminar. Once again, thank you so much for joining in this session. We shall be meeting next Saturday. Let me ask Space to lead us in a closing prayer.
Kaziba, the members could switch on their videos when they can, so that we take a picture after the prayer.
Okay, Mr. Ronald.
Okay, let's pray. Mighty King of glory, we want to thank you very much for this morning. Want to thank you for the meeting that we've had. Want to thank you for whoever that prepared this. We pray that you bless them. And as we implement it in our schools, we pray, King of glory, that you shall give us your Holy Spirit to guide us. And at the end of the day, we shall be able to produce learners that are competent. In Jesus' name, I've prayed.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. You can switch on your camera, and then we see where you are, and then you say a bye-bye to us.
Camera.
I'm taking pictures. Please switch on your camera. I take a picture. The e-pictures. These are the e-pictures. You can smile for the picture. Another one, interesting one. Smiling on Zoom. Okay. Wow.
I failed to do it.
You're failing, Space, to find the camera.
I'm failing. I can't see anything.
Okay. Does somebody want to help Space, to guide Space on what she should do? No, there you are. There you are. We are seeing the camera. We are seeing you. Wow. Wow. Okay, there you are. No, we have got you. We have got you. One more. Just one more before people rush off. One more. Just one more. Wow. Okay,
Good.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your service, sir.
So we shall close the meeting now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.